Let's not waste any time. I would like to introduce to you our very first state champions this evening. Performing up here on stage, this year's state champions in performance in the round. Now, one thing I want you to understand as you watch their state-winning performance, this is going to be performance in the square. So they have rechanged it a little bit from how they might have done it earlier today, but it makes no difference. Here they are from Marian Catholic High School, your state performance in the round champions.
Oh, yeah. Hey, George, we're going to get nudie tattoos. Are you in or are you out?
I really got to finish packing. Frank, those are my socks.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to flip a coin, and whoever wins gets our money for a tattoo. Best two out of three, call in the air. Al, you go first.
Heads.
Heads it is. Joe, your turn.
Tails. Yes, tails.
I guess we're really doing this, huh, fellas? We're going to war.
If worst comes to worst, we'll all go down together.
Shut up, Frank.
Last one. Al, your call.
Heads.
And it's heads! So, what's your tattoo gonna look like?
It's gonna be Helen the Hula Girl.
Ooh.
So you're gonna get a tattoo of George.
You're a pain in the neck, you knucklehead. Finish packing.
Frank, are those my socks?
You're gonna get new socks in the Navy.
I see you boys are packing. I have to see you go.
We're ready, Pa.
I've seen the newsreels. Pearl Harbor was pretty bad.
That's why we all five joined together.
I know, George, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all my boys. Your mother lit a candle for each one of you today at Mass. Frank, are these my socks?
Hey, Pa. When Irish eyes
Let's fly in to fight the battle spring.
You boys better come home together.
Hey, Pa, those are my socks.
Citizens of Waterloo, Iowa, and of America, I have learned a truism that people do care. People do remember. This is evidenced by the proceedings here today. It is fitting that the city's civic center be named after the 5 Sullivan brothers, because they were the sort of people who stick by their family, their friends, their country, values America holds dear. I and the other sailors who survived the 7 days on the hostile seas at Guadalcanal were lucky indeed. In quiet moments, we shed a tear and remember the agony of our lost loved ones. It is fitting that their father, Mr. Tom Sullivan, be here to receive medals in their honor. On behalf of the commanding officer, the remainder of the crew, wives, loved ones, and the Sullivan brothers, we present these medals in their memorial. People do care.
And I will always remember them. I am proud of my sons. My oldest son, George.
Hey!
Frank.
Yeah!
Heads up, George.
And my twin sons, Joe and Al. I still have memories of having snowball fights with them in the backyard in the middle of winter.
Frank!
Hey, Pop!
Come on, guys, get in this way.
George, button your jacket. You want to catch pneumonia and die?
Yeah! Button your jacket, George! I'm not George, Pa. That's George. I'm Frank.
All right, Frank. Sullivan then. So I was talking with your mother last night.
And Ma's tired of bringing in all the wood all the time.
Yes. So I was thinking. George, Frank. How about you help Mother bring in the wood today?
It's George's turn. I did it last week.
He just needs help.
Oh, I'll bring in the wood, Pop.
Yeah, Pop. Why do you always gotta have us bring in wood? We have coal.
Because coal is getting expensive. George, get Frank to do as he's told. It's your job. You're the oldest.
Yes, Pa. Frank? Well, bring in the wood.
Wait, I've got an idea. Guys, come over here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a wood box from the outside to the inside of the house.
Yeah, we can buy the wood with my paper route money.
No, we'll buy all the wood on credit.
Oh, yeah, Pa will appreciate that.
Pa will be sore, and he'll blame me.
George, are you in or are you out?
Like Pa did say, George is the oldest. He could be president.
Joe, are you in? Okay, you get all the hammers, you get all the nails, and you get all the wood.
And you're gonna do it all wrong.
No, we won't. I'm the boss of this job.
Okay, boss. Whatever you say, boss, but when you get in trouble, don't come running to me, boss.
We wouldn't have asked you to help us if you were the last person in the world.
And I wouldn't help you, Frank, if you were the last person in this world.
And we wouldn't have asked you to help us.
You're the oldest, George. It's your job.
Mr. Sullivan.
Officer Suk, you spoke very well at the ceremony.
Oh, thank you. Mr. Sullivan, I feel I owe you the truth about your sons.
Can we get a picture with my wife?
Yes, but before we do that, I must tell you something. I was a good friend of your son George, and I knew the other 4. As I said earlier, I was one of 10 who survived the USS Juno attack at Guadalcanal. That day, after there was little hope, we tried to make a run for Button Island, a safe port 500 miles away. George kept trying
I'm very proud of my son, George.
Yes, George. He was in charge of our signals, and he was the first to see the torpedo in the water.
Go on. You were on the USS Juno near George.
Yes, side by side.
And my other sons.
George said that he saw them before dawn. At that time, they were unhurt. I don't know if what I'm about to tell you will help you or hurt you. But your son George would have wanted you to know the truth.
Then tell me what happened. He was my son.
He did die that day alongside his brothers.
What?
The enemy submarines surrounded us. There was an explosion with devastating power. The story I'm about to tell you is of those who escaped the ship. How we moved forward into hell! Many on the raft were hurled into the sea of darkness. Fire of oil several inches thick.
Why wasn't I told about this story before?
In 1942, the war was not going well. The government had requested not to disclose the full extent of the casualties.
I don't want to hear this. My sons died together.
Then I'll leave.
Go.
No, you must know the truth. George wanted you to know. We were abandoned.
Look! The support convoy is leaving! Help us! We are American sailors! Help me! It is your duty to wait for us!
But the enemy submarines still threatened the Coral Sea at Guadalcanal, so they left us. There were 140 men floating in the water. We were hanging onto debris. We watched in despair as the other ships in our convoy sailed away.
There is no air support.
We were vomiting fuel. One of us was blinded. We watched and we were terrified as sharks encircled the raft.
Tell me about my son. Tell me about everyone else.
I recognized the sailor by his voice. But unlike all the others, he did not call out for help.
Hot dog! Helen! The hula girl! Frank! And Joe!
He was with me on the raft for 4 days. It wasn't until he began wiping oil from the men's faces looking for his brothers that I realized that it was George. To him, illusions became reality.
How dare you call my son crazy?
Frank, I would help you if you were the last person in the world.
Frank isn't here anymore, George. He went down with the explosion.
Prove it.
Tell me about your brothers, George. Can you do that?
Oh, one time we caught holy hell when they cut a hole in the house.
George told me about
Oh my God! That's a big hole! Plug it up! Plug it up!
I don't feel so good. Dad's gonna come home and he's gonna blame this on me.
Hang in there, hot dog.
I think, bro.
Al, this is not your fault.
What's going on here? There's a hole in the house in the middle of winter! What were you guys thinking?
Take it easy, Pa. It wasn't
You told him, shut up! What was this supposed to do?
We wanted to build a wood box for
I
you.
said shut up! George! Whose idea was this?
Why don't you listen to Frank Andrew? He's the boss.
You're going to tell your father what to do? Whose idea was this?
I don't have to tell you anything. I'm the oldest. Why are you always picking on me?
George! Dad! Apologize to him!
George, wait. Take my paper route money. Just in case.
Bye, Matt. On the raft, we were dehydrated. Our fevers would not let up. But we still had hope.
I hear something!
It's an aircraft! Help! Help me without food and fresh water!
My skin keeps burning! I need to get to the water!
There is a shark out there. They're being rescued.
I need medical help! The plane left?
It did not return. A sailor would die every half hour. Our tragedy was complete. All our hope vanished. George told me about what happened when he came home.
George,
I'm not staying here.
but Paul was crying. And Joe, Frank, Hot Dog, myself, we miss you. Just say you're sorry.
I can't.
Hey, Paul! George has come home.
You're going to get a licking! Don't you ever leave like that again!
Matt said you were crying.
Your mother was crying when you didn't come home this morning. But dads don't cry.
I'm sorry, Paul.
Hey, George. Remember this?
His last hours, sad, wounded, alone. His grief became intense. He began wiping oil from the men's faces for the last time. And he would come to each of us and say, I failed you, Paul. George stripped off his clothes and plunged into the darkness of the ocean. Sharks encircled him. But his calls were in vain.
Oh, my son really died.
Then there was silence.
We'd like to recognize the top 6 performance in the rounds. In 6th place, Downers Grove South. In 5th place, Prospect High School. In 4th place, Wheaton Warrenville South. In 3rd place, and receiving a plaque, so if you would please send your cast on up to receive it, performing The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, Oak Lawn Community High School. In 2nd place, performing Big Fish, Glenbard West. And once again, your state champions in Performance of the Round 2016 from Marian Catholic.
Let them name them. Who wants to name the kids? Who wants to say their name?
I can do it. I am supposed to introduce the cast to you. This is Brian Blewett, Michael Breslin. Guys, you come and get medals when I introduce you. Russell Dahlman. Mitchell Taylor. Joe Laskowicki. Vernell Johnson. Ethan Roberts. Stefano Panone. Alex Flores. And Sasha Labovich. Coaches and directors, I'm Mark Donaway. This is Tom Sweeney. This is Tammy Lang. And this is Hope Lang. DBA.